The IRS just became the biggest threat to the closing date of your new home. It's not the interest rates, not the sellers, not the inspection report, but the IRS. We're going to be looking at the massive shift for the 2026 tax season. The government is essentially doing away with paper checks. They want to go digital dominance. But here's the problem. You're already planning to use that refund for your down payment on your new home. You've done the math and redone it. You're already banking on the $4,000 to land on a specific Tuesday before your Wednesday close. But if you mess up in one digit on your routing number, you don't get that check in the mail until the following week. You enter the freeze zone. San Antonio real estate moves fast. The IRS moves at the speed of government. If these two timelines collide, you don't just lose your refund for a month. You might lose the home or you might lose the house. Housing math no one explains to you at all. Let's get into it before it gets too late. The average tax refund is tracking up this year to be $4,167. That's $1,000 more than last year. For a lot of people buying a home in San Antonio, especially first-time home buyers, that is your closing cost buffer, and that's your cash to close. But your 2026 mandate changes the delivery system, and we change the delivery system involving millions of dollars. Things tend to break or slow down. Today we're going to break down the direct deposit mandate, the dreaded CP53E notice, and exactly how to time your San Antonio home purchase so you don't end up being homeless with the processing status on the IRS website. Timing beats headlines. Local strategies win all the time. The paper check is gone, almost. Let's look at the plumbing of the new IRS. The IRS is phasing out paper checks as a default. They want everything via direct deposit. Efficient, sure, for them. But here's the friction point or the problem that might arise. In the past, if your bank details were slightly off, maybe you switched the bank, maybe you typed in a 6 instead of a 7, the system would bounce the deposit and automatically cut a paper check. You'd get it in a few weeks. Annoying, but not fatal. That safety net is completely gone. Now, if there's a mismatch, the system freezes and triggers security protocol. You get a letter, the CP53E notice. This notice requires a response. It requires verification. It requires a 30-day window just for them to acknowledge you exist. If you do not respond perfectly, that delay stretches to 6 weeks, 8 weeks. Not good. Think about that for a minute. You're under contract on a home in Alamo Heights, Helotes, Alamo Ranch. You have a 30-day closings. You need the $4,000 to fund the escrow account on day 28, but your money is sitting on a government server because you did not update your bank account information after you switched to the new credit union. It's not good. The direct deposit refunds usually take around 10 business days, which is great. That fits a 30-day window closing cycle perfectly. A paper check manually triggers by a security freeze. 6 weeks minimum. Do the math. 10 days, 44 versus 45 days. The delta is where the deals freeze. The just wait policy. I hear it all the time. I'll just wait until the money hits my account. Then I'll start looking for a new home. Okay, let's play that out. You wait 6 weeks. You get your cash. You feel safe. But what happens to San Antonio market in those 6 long weeks? We're already seeing inventory move. The spring market is not starting in April anymore. It is starting in February 15th to be exact. While you were waiting for the IRS to verify your identity, 3 other buyers who had their liquidity ready looked at the house you wanted, they made an offer, and the home is gone. Kaput. And here's the kicker, prices. Lower rates do not equal lower prices. We've said this numerous times. If interest rates dip even slightly while you're waiting for that check, buyer demand spikes, prices edge up. So that $4,000 refund you were waiting for, You just lost it in the purchase price appreciation. That home cost $5,000 more now. You've waited 6 long weeks to lose $1,000 of buying power. Just think about that. That's the housing math that makes people angry, but it is also the truth. Waiting is not strategy, it is a gamble, and the house usually wins. The domino effect that affects us all. Let's make the picture even perfectly clear as a nightmare scenario. This happens, and you know it's true. You find a perfect spot near the Pearl or Alamo Ranch and maybe build a new home nearby, 1604. You make an offer, accept it. You're hitting high fives to everyone. You do the inspection, you pay for the appraiser, you pay the options fee, and you're ready. You're already $1,500 out of pocket. The lender is in underwriting with your loan. You see the tax refund on your application and assets to be received. They count it. They approve you conditionally. Please note the condition: proof of funds at closing. Closing date approaches. The title company calls. Please wire the cash to close. You check your bank account. You check it again. Empty. You check with the IRS. Where's my refund tool? Status: action required. Notice sent. You panic. You call the IRS and it takes forever. You sit on hold for 3 long hours. They tell you about the CP53E. They tell you you're in a security measure for your protection. You call the lender. I don't have the cash to close yet. And you know what happens? The lender cannot fund the loan at all. You call the seller. I need 2 more weeks. The seller says, I have a backup cash offer. My goodness, you breach contract. I am keeping your earnest money, and that's never good. You lose your home, you lose the earnest money, you lose your inspection money, and you still don't have your refund. This is not fear monitoring. This is logistics. The contract deadlines in Texas are brutal. They do not care about your tax problems. Bulletproof your transaction. So here's the question: how do you fix this? How do you beat the system? There's 3 steps that you have to take note. Early e-filing is non-negotiable. If you're buying a home in the first quarter, the second quarter, don't wait until April 14th. File now. The moment have your W-2, get that into the system and so you don't get clogged up. Triple check your bank account and triple check it again. I don't care if you use the same account for 10, 20 years. Check the routing number. Check the account number. If you're married and filed jointly, make sure the name on the account matches exactly letter per letter. If the tax return says John and Jane Smith, but the bank account says John Smith, that can trigger a freeze. The computers are stupid. Treat them like they're stupid. Now, the gap funding strategy. This is a pro move. Do not write an offer where the tax refund is the only source of closing cash. If you absolutely need that $4,000 to close, we need to structure your contract with longer closing time frame or closing dates up front. We need to tell the seller we need a closing in 45 days, not 30 days. We'll build that buffer before we sign. Look, buying a home in San Antonio right now is an opportunity. The market is shifting, the leverage, if you know where to look at. But you have to respect the money logistics. The IRS changes in 2026 are not designed for efficiency. They're not for as your real estate deadlines. Do not let the routing number error destroy your wealth building plan. If you're looking to buy, sell, or just looking for the future in San Antonio, we need to talk about your timeline before you start looking at houses. We need to look at your liquidity. We need to look at the housing math that helps you. Hit that follow button, subscribe if you want the truth about this market, not just a sales pitch. Go to this website right here. Let's build a strategy that actually closes on your home. Timing beats headlines. Like, share, subscribe.